morning, everybody.
This is Morning Announcements
With Millie.
and Mr. I.
Today is
Friday, May 15th.
Today is National
Peace Officers Memorial Day.
Chocolate Chip Day.
Yum.
No, double yum.
Yes. Triple yum.
You got me.
Endangered Species Day.
And Pizza Party Day.
Also yum.
Double yum?
And triple yum.
Okay.
This is Lila with the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that with us stands under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Again.
Thank you, Lila. Happy birthday. Wait, Millie, I don't see any kids' names there.
Yeah, we don't have any kids' birthdays from our school, but we do have some famous birthdays. Baseball Hall of Famer George Brett.
NFL Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith.
Heisman Trophy winner Desmond Howard.
NFL Hall of Famer Ray Lewis.
Olympic tennis gold medal winner and Wimbledon winner Andy Murray.
And two-time Washington State pole vault medalist Alex Bailey.
He sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, he does. Wait, that's my son.
Congratulations!
Happy 19th birthday! Shout outs! Miss Todd would like to give a shout out to Ilse. She's in 3rd grade. Ilse attends every counseling activity made available for her. She brings her bright smile, kind words, and amazing insights to each activity. Nice job, Ilse.
Miss Burnaby is a 1st grade teacher. She'd like to give a shout out to Kaylani and Rose for completing their last 2 weeks' assignments and joining the Google Classroom. Nice job.
And Ms. O'Meara, a 2nd grade teacher, would like to give a shout out to Omar and his brother Alex and mother Santa. They persisted through some difficulties with their technology, and worked well together to make sure Omar is able to complete his online assignments. Their commitment to Omar's education is so inspiring. Nice job, Omar, Alex, and Mommy Santa.
We'd like to introduce a new segment to you. This is PE at Home with Mrs. Anderson.
Good morning, Wildcats. Today I am going to show you how to make a piece of PE equipment at home. And it is called a ball or a sock ball. All you need is 1 sock or 2 socks. And it's very simple to make. You just take the toe of your sock and you put it in the top part of your sock and you just keep pushing it in there until you end up with a ball. Okay, so this is kind of a small one. So I would like to use 2 socks. So I just take that and I put it down on the very toe of this sock. And then I'm just going to do the same thing again. I put it in the top of it and I just keep pushing until it's all in itself, and then I have a ball. And I love these, especially around the house, because they're nice and soft and they're not going to hurt anything, and they're great for catching. So there's lots of ideas you can do. You can just play toss and catch. You can have a target that you throw at, or you can shoot them into something. Now, if you do have a rubber band, you can also put that around. It kind of holds it a little bit tighter, but they both work great. Okay, have a great weekend. I miss you guys.
Thank you, Mrs. Anderson.
Daily quote, laughing is the best medicine.
Whoa!
Woohoo! Woohoo!
You might need to see a doctor for that one.
Baby.
Okay, this is one of Ms. Walker's favorite quotes. Thank you, Ms. Walker. We're now going to continue with the second of 3-part interview with Rich Marriott.
What is something that you've learned from this experience?
Social distancing?
Yeah, social distancing, COVID-19.
Personally, that I miss my friends. That's the other thing. I miss my personal friends that I see. We still have, we stand on our deck and yell at our neighbors across the way, and we talk back and forth that way and on both sides. and we go out for walks in the neighborhood, or I'll be out working in front of the house, and people, go off into the street and stand there and we chat for a while, which is not quite the same, but it's okay. But I think that's probably the importance of having that social contact with people, and in a casual way. I think that's what's really changed is, you can still have contact. You can do this, you can use Zoom. And our morning crew has a happy hour every Friday afternoon where we get together and chat. And that's great, but it's still not the same as being in the same space. It's kind of like the difference between watching a movie and being in the audience of a live play. The communication's kind of the same, but you don't have the presence that you have when you're in the same room with the people that you're talking to.
When you were younger, what job did you grow up thinking that you'd like to have when you got older?
Actually, the only other one I really, really wanted to have was being a park ranger. That was my primary goal before I got interested in meteorology. And honestly, I ended up being a meteorologist for the Forest Service, working in the National Weather Service office. And one of our cooperatives is the National Park Service. So I scored part of that. And the other thing, which I did for about 10 years before I had kids, was my work at the Avalanche Center was only 9 months of the year. And so I worked 3 months of the year as a glaciologist for the University of Washington. And I ran the Blue Glacier Research Station, which is up on Mount Olympus in the middle of the Olympic Mountains. And so I would go up and live up there for several months during the summer, 20 miles from the nearest road. That was one of the top experiences of my life. So I really got to combine, in the end, I got to combine the two.
Changing topics a bit, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Long Beach, down in California, as a matter of fact. I grew up surfing and snorkeling and living in the sun, but I loved the rain. And I actually was interested in weather younger. So my parents told me when I was about 8 or 10, I told them I needed to live in Washington because there was always a front over Washington. It was always raining there, and I really wanted to live there. So, and it hasn't disappointed.
Do you have a favorite elementary school memory, maybe a funny story, or a favorite teacher you'd like to share?
It was so long ago. It was so long ago. First grade would have been almost 65 years ago. That was a ways back. Boy, my memories are pretty from way back then of school. I remember Mrs. Palmer, who was my 6th grade teacher. I was in love with her. I do remember that. I love Mrs. Palmer. I also remember that I bit Peggy Case in class one time. I think I was in 4th or 5th grade, and I got in trouble, and my teacher said that you only bite people if you like them. I was just never did that again.
Is there any advice you would like to give to elementary age students?
I would say that the sciences and learning about stuff is trying to do with my own elementary school, my 1st grader, is just fascinating. There's so many things to know and understand. And if you do have an understanding of science and how science works, and very importantly, learning to read and write very well. If you can put those two things together, understanding principles, I tell this to all grade levels, understanding principles and being able to communicate them both in written word and in speech, you will never have trouble finding work. There will always be something, there will always be a job for you. And it's fascinating to look and understand stuff and then be able to explain it to other people. There's a hand coming in right there. My wife is just back home from work.
Sorry.
Working on tonight's special, right? Yes, okay. On looking at what it's going to look like as we come out of this quarantine. So it's a family affair around here doing television.
What advice would you give to the graduating class of 2020?
Boy, that's a tough one. It's a unique environment that we're in. There's so many changes that are going on right now, both locally, the growth of our state, the growth of our the previous growth of our economy. We'll recover from this, but it's going to take a while, which is going to make it hard for everybody up and down. And also our concerns about climate, et cetera, that are going on, just the changing world. It's a challenging time. In many ways, I envy the class of 2020 because the greater the change, the greater the opportunities in many ways, and you just have to embrace change. I have learned over all the years I've lived that change is a sign of life. That's one of the most characteristic things about life is there's change. And you learn to have to adapt and appreciate it. Try not to fight it. I do sometimes. And be ready for a lot of challenges. I think there's a lot of challenges. And as they always say, well, it probably wasn't the expression I was looking for, but keep your friends near and your enemies nearer. But I think the importance of having good friends and being true to your friends and doing the good that you can do in this world. I think that's really, really important. So we have an opportunity to help somebody, helping them. And I think that's where a lot of the rewards in life come from.
Yeah. Before we're done, can you let us know what tomorrow's weather looks like?
Well, again, so the standard forecast for spring around the Pacific Northwest is partly sunny, chance of showers. And right now, it's partly sunny, chance of showers. And I'm looking at that right out my window right now, too. That was an easy one. I like that. Don't ask me when it's snowing down at sea level, though. Much harder.
Thank you, Grayson and Rich Marriott. This is the weather with Grayson.
Bonjour and welcome to today's morning announcement. I am your host of today's Ocosta News Weather, Grayson Bearden. But first, let's go over yesterday's forecast. It was a nice spring day in Westport yesterday. We started off with some rainy weather that turned into sunshine. Our high was around 58 degrees and our low was around 48. And now back to me in the studio. Thank you, me, for that recap of yesterday's weather. And now for today's. It looks like our high is going to be around 59 degrees and our low will be around 52. We are forecasted to have a mix of sun and clouds with winds from the south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Our sunrise is at 5:41 a.m. and our sunset will be at 8:44 p.m. We have low tides at 1:59 a.m. and 2:17 p.m. Our high tides are at 7:46 a.m. and 9:15 p.m. Hopefully you can get out and enjoy the beach this weekend. And that's all for today's edition of Ocosta News Weather for the Friday, May 15th morning announcements. I hope you enjoyed the second segment of my interview with Rich Marriott. Thank you, stay safe, and have a great day.
Thanks, Grayson. Continuing our segment on Where's Dubs, here's another picture taken in our community. Can you figure out where Dubs was visiting?
Stay tuned to the end to find the answer. Crazy laws. It's illegal in Illinois to possess any type of aquatic life whose value exceeds $600. Well, I'll just buy 599 goldfish, and then I'll call it good.
As if each goldfish was $1 each, right?
Yes.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
If you'd like to contact us with new ideas, here are emails below. Thank you for watching our morning announcements. And don't forget, Dubs was at Georgetown Station in Tuckland. See you next time on Ocosta News.
And remember, be a good kid. Do the right thing.
I have a proposal. I am going to wake up at 8:30, go get my lunch. I'm going to wait in our fort and go get my lunch, and I'm going to go back to bed.
Okay, and that's a proportion?
Yes.
Okay, a proportion.
Yes, it is. I'm so frustrated right now. Let's do this. I just got to put on hand sanitizer.
I didn't know you needed face and chin sanitizer too.
Well, it's like Home Alone.